Today's lesson is going to talk about how the note for do can move around on the treble clef staff. Here we have a treble clef staff. There are 5 lines and 4 spaces. The 5 lines are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the spaces are here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notes can be placed on the lines in the spaces of the staff, or even above and below the staff like this. Here's a note on the first line, second, third, fourth, and fifth, or on the spaces. Space 1, 2, 3, 4, or above the staff, or even below the staff. Now we need to talk a little bit about key signatures. The number of sharps or flats at the beginning of a piece of music tell us what key we're in and what note is do. Let's start easy. Here we have an example where there are no sharps or flats. That means that we're in the key of C major. Do is located on the ledger line below the staff. So once again, here we have no sharps or flats at the beginning of the piece of music. That means that we're in the key of C major, and that do is on the note C, which is on the ledger line below the staff. In this example, we have 1 sharp, which means we're in the key of G major. In the key of G major, do is the note G, which is on the second line of the staff. So again, we have 1 sharp, so we're in the key of G major, where do is G on the second line. Now we have a key signature with 1 flat at the beginning. That's the key of F major. In the key of F major, do is the F note, which is in the first space of the staff. So, again, we've got 1 flat, which is the key of F major, where do is F in the first space of the treble clef staff. So, let's review. If there are no sharps or flats at the beginning, that means that we're in the key of C major, and do is the note C, which is on the line below the staff. If there's 1 sharp, that means we're in the key of G major, and do is the note G, which is on the second line of the staff. And finally, if there's 1 flat at the beginning, that means that we're in the key of F major, and do is the note F, which is in the first space of the treble clef staff. Okay, so we've now determined that if there are no sharps or flats in the key signature, then that means that we are in the key of C major, which means that do is C on the ledger line below the staff. Well, if that's do, then re is the next step up. Mi, fa, so, la, ti, and do. Well, that's pretty simple. But what if we now have the key signature with 1 sharp? That means we're in the key of G major, so do is G on the second line of the treble clef staff. Well, if this is now do, then that means that re is the next step up. Mi, fa, so, la, ti, and high do is all the way up there. We can also go down below do. If do is on the second line, then the next step down is ti, la, so, fa, and it keeps going on and on. So let's look at F major, when we have 1 flat. Do is F in the first space. Well, if do is F in the first space, that means that re is the next step up. Mi, fa, so, la, ti, and high do, all the way up on the top line. Just like before, we can go lower than do here as well. There we have do on the first space, ti on the first line, la, so, fa, mi, and it can go on and on from there. So no matter where do is on the staff, everything else follows do. If do is here, on the line in the middle of the staff, then re, mi, fa, and so follow. Or if you go lower, do, ti, la, so, fa. If do starts all the way on the space on the top, then you can go down ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, and so on. Here's a helpful hint for easily figuring out do, mi, and so in different keys. If we're in the key of G major, and we know that do is G on the second line, well, if do is on a line, then mi is on a line, and so is on a line, to make a tune so fine. How about for the key of F major with one flat? Well, here we have do in the first space. Well, if do is in a space, then mi is in a space, and so is in a space, the notes all in their place. Hopefully this video has helped you understand what happens when do moves around the staff. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Or you can post your comment in our Facebook group or on our Edmodo page. I'll try to get back to your questions as soon as I can. Happy learning!